Hey good people, welcome back. Now, last time we spoke, we went through the process of selecting a material design color palette, which in turn created our brand colors. Now we learned a few things, what kind of colors come along with certain colors that you choose, etc. However, there's one element of that was missing that we haven't done, which is crucial in terms of material design and in design overall, and this is the theme. Now, how would I describe a theme? For me, a theme is sort of like a scaffolding for your brand colors and for your brand on your application. Now, what do I mean by that? So if we take a look at the example Google Analytics solutions, we see that we have different elements. We have the app bar, which we'll go into. We have different sections, right? And in those different sections, you have a background and a foreground element, okay? Now, if you take a look at the app bar, you see this app bar is white, okay? Now, this is to do with, this is their light theme, okay? Now, we'll go into the difference between what a light theme is and a dark theme is, which you can use separately or both, but not together on one place, in like, for example, on one page, okay? So, taking a look at this page right here, you have the foreground color. Now, this foreground color, if we just take a look at it, we see that this foreground color is perhaps, yes, F6, F6, F6. If you take a look at the right corner, yep. And if we take a look at so that's the background color. Now we have a foreground element, okay, which is at this point, this component, which is a card. Now, a card is a self-contained little thing that we'll talk about. Don't worry about it. If you don't know yet, we'll go into it. This foreground element is white. If you take a look at that. So you see the difference between the colors makes a background element and a foreground element. Now, the background is part of the theme. The background colors that we use are part of the theme, as well as the foreground color is part of the theme. Okay, now the way they interact in terms of color wise is our theme. Now this brings me to something that we spoke about briefly when we're talking about material design, which is how it works and how it mimics, sort of, if you want to use that word, how it mimics the real life physics or real world physics, as opposed to sci-fi physics, if you want to say whatever. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say we're looking at this whole thing, we're looking at an aerial view. We're like a plane, we're in a plane, okay, and we're looking straight down, all right, and this is what we see. Now, if this, my mouse right here, pretend is a magnet, okay, and it's hovering somewhere slightly above these elements right here, okay. Now when this magnet hovers around an element, it drags the element up, it attracts the element to it, okay. Now what happens when you lift the element up? Because that's what we're doing, we're lifting it up, okay. It creates these shadows, all right. So this is like real world. This is, this tells you that this element has been lifted up. So something is going on there, okay, and something is, this is where the attention is. We're being attracted to that, and this is how material design works, and how it works with you, your natural state of being, and how you process information. This is the goal of material design, to make everything natural for you. So I thought this was pretty sleek. We'll go into all that, all the shadows, the shadow colors, etc., etc. We'll get into all that. But these subtle little things, these subtle little things are what make material design, and what makes it exciting to work with. All right. Now back to our theme. That was a little side, just to talk a little bit more about material design and how it works. So we have our themes. Let's see what it says about the themes. Themes let you apply a consistent tone to an app. The theme specifies the darkness of the surfaces, level of shadow, and appropriate opacity of ink elements. To promote greater consistency between apps, light and dark themes are available to choose from. Okay, so this is your light theme. This could be similar to what we were dealing with over here. Okay, so if you see this, you have the status bar, this is the status bar, you have the app bar, and then you have the background, and then you have the foreground element that can be lifted up. Okay, this is exactly the same, although they tend to be using their own colors, you know, and which is perfectly fine, you know, it's Google, right? So hey, and then here you have the dark theme. Now I got interested in the dark theme. I was like, okay, I want to check it out. I want to see how it works out, you know, because we usually, the first thing we do, is rare to find dark themes out there, like websites and web applications that have a dark theme, unless you're dealing with, for example, things like what's this one, Spotify, or probably Netflix. All right, these are applications. Okay, so I wanted to go down that route. How would a dark theme look with different colors, excuse me, with photographs, images, in terms of our Moments application? So that's what we're going to be using primarily. We might deviate a little bit, who knows, okay, but primarily we're going to be using this. So let's see if we can put this just to import it. We might not need to import it. We can just go, if we remember, we'll remember the hex codes and this and that. But for example, if we have to import it into our XD, it's so simple. You have we're not going to be using the status bar because we're not building an app for the phone, not just yet. Okay, who knows where this course will take us, but for now we're dealing with a web application. Okay, so we don't need a status bar. However, we need an app bar. Okay, the app bar. So we got 1, 2, 3. We need these 3 elements, which is 1, 2, 3. So the app bar will be 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. If you say 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and next one would be 30, 30, 30. That's the backgrounds. These babies right here. So that will be 30, 30, 30. Perfect. And then last but not least, we need the foreground, the element itself. And if we go back here, we'll find that it's 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. Perfect. There we go. And this is what we're going to be using primarily in terms of our background colors, etc. And we're going to have fun with it. So next video, we're going to go crazy, probably start building or start creating this thing. And join me then.